Have you ever just stopped for a second and thought about the absolute magic that's happening inside your phone every time you open up a map? I mean, this little thing in your hand can pinpoint its location on a planet that's just spinning through the cosmos. It's wild. But how does it really do it? Let's get into it, because the real answer is so much cooler than you probably think. We all know this dot, right? It's our guide. It's our little anchor in the digital world. You're looking for coffee, you're trying to navigate a new city. There it is, your digital self. But behind that calm, steady little blue dot, there is an incredible flurry of technological activity going on every single second. So to start pulling back the curtain on this mystery, we've got to look up. And I mean way, way up. The first piece of this whole puzzle is orbiting high above our heads. It's this silent, invisible network that covers the entire planet. And that network, of course, is the one everybody knows: GPS. You ask someone how their phone knows where it is, and 99 times out of 100, they're going to say GPS. And look, they're not wrong. But that's not the whole story, not even close. So what is GPS really? Well, you can think of it as a fleet of about 30 satellites, all of them just zipping around the Earth a couple of times a day. And their main job, their only job really, is to constantly shout the time. That's it. They are just broadcasting these incredibly precise time signals down towards us, over and over and over. Okay, so how does your phone turn a simple time signal into your exact location? It's actually a pretty genius three-step dance. First, it just listens. Your phone needs to hear that time signal from at least 4 different satellites. Then, for each signal, it measures the tiny, tiny delay, the fraction of a second it took for that signal to travel from space all the way to your hand. And because we know the speed of light, that time delay tells your phone the distance to that satellite. Once it knows its distance from 4 separate points in space, it can do this cool bit of geometric magic called trilateration to nail down your exact spot on Earth. And this system is brilliant, as long as you've got a clear view of the sky. But what about when you don't? What happens when you're deep inside a shopping mall, or you're down in a subway tunnel, or even just walking through a city with huge skyscrapers blocking everything? Those GPS signals are actually pretty weak, and they can't just punch through solid concrete. So how does the blue dot still find you?
To answer that, we have to bring our focus all the way down from space and back to street level. Because it turns out your phone has a whole other bag of tricks for when it can't see the sky.
That's right. When your phone can't get a clear view of the satellites, it stops looking up, and it starts listening. It's listening to all the signals that are literally bouncing off the walls around you. It's tapping into this huge, invisible network that's all around us pretty much all the time. And this ground-level grid is made up of 3 key things your phone is always on the lookout for. It's constantly scanning for the names of every Wi-Fi network it can see. It's always in communication with the closest cell phone towers, just to stay connected. And it's also picking up on these little Bluetooth beacons you might find in airports or department stores. Your phone is basically a super sensitive digital ear.
Now, here's the secret sauce. For years, companies like Google and Apple have been methodically mapping the entire world. Not just the streets, but the signals. They've pinpointed the exact physical location of billions of Wi-Fi routers and cell towers. Each one of them has a unique signature that's been tied to a physical address on planet Earth.
So think about it like this. Your phone hears the names of a few nearby Wi-Fi networks. It cross-references those names with a massive database and basically says, okay, if I can hear this router and that one over there, I must be standing right here. It's like navigating by the light of digital lighthouses instead of stars.
So let's kind of put them side by side. You've got GPS, which uses satellites. It's amazing for when you're outdoors, and it's super accurate. But it can be a little slow to get that first lock. Then you have the ground-level grid, the Wi-Fi and cell towers. This is what your phone uses indoors or in really dense cities. And its biggest advantage? It is crazy fast, like nearly instant. Each one has its moment to shine. So, what happens when you take these 2 incredible systems and you make them work together? Well, you get something way more powerful than either one alone. And you also start creating a very, very detailed story of your own life. This teamwork has a name. It's called Assisted GPS, or AGPS, and it is so clever. Your phone uses that super fast Wi-Fi and cell signal grid to get a quick and dirty location. A ballpark idea of where you are. Then, it uses that hint to tell the GPS receiver which specific satellites it should be looking for in the sky. It narrows the search, helping the GPS lock on in just a few seconds instead of a few minutes. It's this seamless partnership, this constant conversation between the ground and the sky that makes that little blue dot feel so magical. It's what makes it so fast, so accurate, and so reliable. It's not just one thing, it's a team effort, through and through.
And just think about this for a second. How much of your day do you actually spend outdoors with a perfectly clear view of the sky? You're at home, you're at work, you're in a store, you're under a roof. Some estimates say that for over 95% of the day, your phone is probably relying on that ground-level grid, not just GPS, to know its place in the world.
So every single time you use that blue dot, every search for directions, every photo you geotag, every time you call for a ride, you're using this incredibly complex system, and you're leaving behind a little marker, a little digital breadcrumb that says, I was here. So the next time you pull out your phone and that little blue dot just pops onto the screen, instantly, remember what's really going on. Remember that invisible dance between the satellites in orbit and the digital lighthouses all around you. It's an amazing convenience, no doubt, but it also creates a perfect record of our movements. Which leaves us with a pretty big question to think about. Is all that perfect convenience worth leaving behind a perfect trail?